generally expect a transcript from a church merger to be about logistics, maybe some organizational charts.
Right, polite applause.
Exactly. But this document we have from the Toronto Good Shepherd Church, it goes somewhere else entirely. It pivots hard into what is basically one of the most intense psychological thrillers in the Bible.
It really is a hard left turn. We're looking at a text from an integration Thanksgiving service, which you'd think is all about unity, and it uses this ancient family feud
Between Isaac and Ishmael.
Yeah, to make this really complex point about inheritance. It's asking, do you get what you need by fighting for it, or is it just given to you?
And before they even get to the fight, the speaker sets the mood with this really interesting metaphor. It's from a Scottish preacher, George Morrison.
The roller coaster metaphor.
He compares life to a roller coaster, but not in the way you'd think. It's not about the adrenaline rush, is it?
No, he completely flips that idea. The point isn't that faith is built when you're at the top of the loop all excited. It's that it matures on the downs.
The waiting periods.
The long, slow, kind of boring waiting. And that sets the stage perfectly for the biblical drama. We find Abraham finally holding a feast for his son Isaac. The long wait is over.
Because Isaac is being weaned. He's what, like 3 years old at this point?
About 3, yeah. But the celebration gets crashed. You've got the older half-brother, Ishmael, who's a teenager now.
16, 17 maybe.
Probably. And he's seen mocking the toddler. And Sarah, she just snaps. She goes to Abraham and demands he drive out Hagar and Ishmael immediately.
And this is where the text actually leans in and admits how tough this is for us to read now. I mean, Abraham sends his own son into the desert with just bread and a skin of water.
It looks horrible. Through any normal human lens, it's just cruel, a catastrophe.
He looks like the villain. But this is where the sermon says, okay, if you stop at the unfairness, you're actually missing the real data here.
Exactly. This is the aha moment in the text. They pull in Galatians chapter 4 to argue that these aren't just people in a tent. They're categories of existence.
So Ishmael isn't just a person. He represents something bigger.
Yes. He represents the flesh, human effort, our own plans, the grind. And Isaac represents the spirit, the thing that happens only because of a divine promise.
So when Sarah demands that Ishmael can't share the inheritance, she's not just being a jealous mother in this view.
In this theological framework, no. She's stating a spiritual rule. Law and grace cannot coexist. You can't hedge your bets. The source is so clear that if you try to earn your standing the Ishmael way, you're operating under law.
And the law inherits nothing.
Nothing. It's a really stark distinction. And to prove that effort can actually disqualify you, the sermon brings in Moses.
Right. Most of us know Moses never made it to the promised land. The simple story is he lost his temper and hit a rock.
But this sermon digs into why that mattered. God told him to speak to the rock to get water, but in his frustration, he struck it twice.
He used physical force. He reverted to what he could do himself.
Precisely. Striking the rock is a symbol of human work. Speaking to it would have been trusting the promise. So the argument is, because Moses acted out of effort, he became a symbol of the law. And the law has a hard ceiling. It can get you close, but it can never lead you into the kingdom.
Okay, so that brings us to the application. If our own effort is a liability here, how do you actually handle struggle? They call it spiritual warfare, but the example they use to win is, well, it's pretty counterintuitive.
The judo evangelist story, it's such a vivid picture. A former judo expert has this vision where he's fighting a demon, but it's a small, kind of cute-looking demon.
So he thinks, I've got this.
Of course. He's a black belt. He grabs the demon and throws it. Bam. But the thing just bounces right back up, smiling.
Because he's fighting a spiritual battle with physical skills.
Exactly. The wrong tools. He throws it again and again until he's just collapsed, completely exhausted. And the demon is totally fine. The battle only ends when the man finally gives up, stops fighting, and just prays.
So surrender isn't losing. It's actually the only way to access the power you actually need.
That is the core takeaway. The source is saying that the inheritance is a gift. You don't fight for a gift. If you fight for it, you turn it into a wage.
And the text argues that in the spiritual world, your wages just aren't enough to buy what you're really looking for.
It's a challenging thought to leave you with, because we live in a world driven by merit, by side hustles, by earning your keep.
We absolutely do. So does the idea of surrender feel like weakness to you? Or could this source be right, that maybe stopping the grind is the only way to get the one thing you can't possibly earn? Thanks for listening.